Hey guys, hope everyone is doing well. Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to do something a little different. I wanted to take you along for a little unboxing of some things that I've just recently gotten in from Habibi, New York. As you know, I have talked about this brand quite a bit on the channel and over on my Instagram account. It is a brand that I have really been impressed with. I have really enjoyed everything that I've tried from them so far. And like I said, I've just gotten in some new things here that I wanted to share with you, as well as give you kind of an overview of what you can expect when you make a purchase from this beautiful indie niche brand. So stick around. So a great place to start our discussion would naturally be with the presentation, because after all, that is what we tend to notice first about a fragrance or a house, how they present themselves, how they are packaged. And Habibi does a really good job with that. They put a lot of time and a lot of thought into their presentation. The box that you see here, this is what you can expect to find or to receive when you purchase multiple fragrances. This box here contains 4 full bottles as well as a discovery set. And they also have something really cool on the website where you do have the ability to get multi-packs of fragrances. They will have up to 4 fragrances that might be grouped according to, you know, gender, male, female. They might be oud fragrances, or they might just be considered their best sellers. So that's also a really good feature. And normally they have really good deals running on those multi-packs. So be on the lookout for that. But the box here, this just simply flips over from the top. And as I mentioned, we have the 4 full-size bottles inside, as well as the discovery set. Let me show you the discovery set first, because, you know, even with these, there's a lot of time and effort put into the detailing. I mean, just look at that. That's just beautiful packaging there. This features a pull-out drawer. Little note in here from the founders, Shakir and Tabassum. And then you have, of course, your fragrances there. The fragrances, the samples are 3 ml. They are quality sprayers. They spray really nicely, so you don't have to worry about, you know, getting, you know, cheap sprayers as you find with some brands. Something else I'll point out too is the fact that when you buy a full bottle of one of their fragrances, they automatically send you this same size sample. So just in case, you know, for some reason you might be blind buying a fragrance, you can always check out that sample first before opening the full bottle. That way, if for some reason you don't care for the fragrance, it just does not work for you, you can send that unopened full bottle back for a refund. So that is definitely a plus there. It's a nice little option to have. So let's take a look at these full bottles that we have. I will start with this one. This is the one that I have been really excited to try. This is the spicedbergamotandorris. And if you are familiar at all with Habibi, you will probably have already seen these just gorgeous boxes. That is something that really struck me. When I first became familiar with the brand, they were doing things a little bit differently. The presentation was a little different. But when they revamped everything, they went over to these boxes that have the sleeve. But I mean, just that fretwork along the side, I mean, that's beautiful. The coloring too, this is like kind of a hunter green color with a, I don't know, I'd call that like a grayish blue, almost like a pewter color sleeve there. And as you can tell too, when the light hits it, you've got a little bit of an overlay here, a design that's just really nice. You take the sleeve off, these just, they open from the top. And then the bottle, this particular bottle is the same color as the sleeve, that kind of pewter blue grayish color with the gold cap. And then it's got really nice detailing on the front with the Habibi logo embossed at the bottom. Very heavy bottles. I mean, quality stuff here. Even the cap, very, very heavy. You could hurt somebody if you threw this at their head. And like with the samples, these have really nice sprayers. They spray out a very wide, very nice mist of fragrance. I'm gonna spray this one on. Ah, that's nice. This is the urbanoud, but this is the newest version of that. They have retweaked, revamped the urbanoud. They are now calling it urbanoud elixir. What they've done is they've changed the formulation a bit so that it's stronger, it's longer lasting. They listen to feedback. That's something that I notice about this brand. A lot of people were giving them feedback that they did not feel like the original lasted as long as it should. So they listened and they went back and they changed some things. Again, the box is the same as with the original, the black, the red with the gold accents, that beautiful fretwork down the side. The only difference really with the elixir is they did change the finish on the black bottle. So whereas the old or the original bottle was glossy, this is now a matte black bottle with a black cap instead of a gold cap. This is the desertoud. This features a mustard yellow packaging with some brown there. And then the bottle is a dark brown with the gold cap. This is a great fragrance. You need to try this. And then finally, we have the honeyed tobacco and oud. Again, we've got some kind of mustard yellow with the brown. And I love the bottle on this one. This is almost like a honey brown color or a honey color. But I love the kind of the motif on the front there. It's almost like a honeycomb. So a lot of thought was put into this packaging. I find it to be, I mean, just personally, I think it's gorgeous. All right, so we could spend a lot of time naturally talking about how the packaging looks. But the most important thing, of course, is how do these smell? What can you expect from a Habibi fragrance as far as the smell, the quality, all of that good stuff? Well, let me tell you, Habibi has set out to be a high-end luxury brand, but without the high-end price tag. So, you know, a lot of times when we step over into niche, we kind of get used to that $200, $300, maybe even $400 price tag. With Habibi coming in at just a little over $100, especially for what you were getting, that is phenomenal in my book. You are going to notice right off that these are quality fragrances, quality ingredients, and also very unique creations as well. That is what really stood out to me the most. When I spray these, I'm not immediately thinking of another fragrance. I'm not thinking, oh, well, this reminds me too much of whatever, which is a really rare thing nowadays. When you have smelled and sampled as many perfumes as I have over the course of the years, you know, it gets really hard not to naturally make comparisons. But I have not found that to be the case so far with Habibi. They all have just something very unique about them. They have a very unique signature, a marker in them, where after a while you can kind of recognize them as being a Habibi fragrance, which I think is also really great. I love it when a house does have a very unique signature or DNA that runs through their fragrances. And that is even with, you know, the fact that they have enlisted quite a few perfumers to nose their creations. They have worked with Dominique Boulet, which, you know, I was kind of under the impression when I first became acquainted with the brand that she might be their in-house perfumer. I did ask Shakir about that, and he said that, yeah, technically she could be considered. or she could have that title. But they've also worked with Christine Hassan. They've even worked with Quentin Bish, which, as you know, is one of my favorites. So he's created one in their collection. So a lot of great perfumers, a lot of talent there. So like I mentioned earlier, you know, you do have kind of a no-risk type of situation here because they do send out a sample along with every fragrance purchase. That way you can try out the sample before opening the full bottle. Because let's just face it, a lot of people are blind buying. I do it myself. I try not to, but there have been a couple from Habibi that, yes, I have blind bought just based on the notes, based on my experience with them, the fact that I know that I've loved everything that I've tried from them, but also the notes. So I have blind bought a few. So it was nice having that option that, you know, for some reason I didn't like it from the sample, that I could send that full bottle back for a refund. But I guarantee you, you try these, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. Now let's talk a little bit about the longevity. As I mentioned before, you know, they pay a lot of attention to the feedback that they get. And, you know, whereas I really didn't pick up on any performance issues with the urbanoud, some did. Some kind of, you know, they spoke up about it and Habibi listened, which I think is amazing. But as a whole, everything that I've tried so far lasts a really long time. I mean, even on skin. I know a lot of us, we spray our clothing to kind of get a little bit of extra mileage out of them. But, you know, even just spraying on skin, I find that the majority of these last at least 6 hours. And I think probably if I took an average, I would say they're more like 7-8 hour range. So for me, that is pretty good. That's really all I expect from a fragrance. I don't expect every fragrance to be beast mode. It doesn't have to last 12, 24 hours. I mean, that's ridiculous. At some point, you're going to want to be, you know, you're going to want to wash that off and, you know, maybe move on to another fragrance. But yeah, so the performance for me, for my personal taste, is also very, very good. All right, so that is just a very brief overview of what I've received here recently, and also, again, what you can expect when you make a purchase from this house. In the future, I plan on doing more videos like this about Habibi, but what I want to do is focus and kind of spotlight particular fragrances, especially those that have become my favorites out of the collection. So stay tuned for those. In the meantime, if you have any more questions or if you're curious about their offerings, please visit their website. I'm going to leave it right here at the bottom. Head over there, just check out what they have, look at the note pyramids. Also, check out those discovery sets because those are a great way to become very familiar very quickly with what they have to offer. You're going to see for yourself that these are amazing, high quality luxury fragrances, but again, without that luxury price tag. So guys, until the next video, I hope that you all stay safe, you take care.